Merry Christmas.
How did you, because God knows how I did, but how did you navigate that? Okay, I gotta be patient, but I feel like banging my head against the wall right now. How did you navigate that?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I did it very well. Who I was at the start of the year, I wasn't ready for all the good things that have happened to me, and I wasn't ready for the ways that I've improved and I've been blessed this year. And if I'd been given what I was given now, back then, I would have fumbled it. How did you sort of get yourself out of that rut that you were feeling?
You are now tuned in to the Tokyo Diaries podcast. Sensational.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, we're not doing the slap. I thought you did the slap.
All right. 3, 2. But you have your mic up here, by the way. So like, just here. So it doesn't. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Merry Christmas.
We did it.
We did it. Well done, us.
Yes.
This is the Tokyo Diaries. Welcome. I'm your host, Safa Miller, and this is my co-host, Jenkinson Denzel Southern, aka Mav the filmmaker. We're really happy to be with you here today. Hope you're all having a good Christmas. And we just wanted to talk to you.
It's not so easy, is it?
We wanted to talk to you about a few different things. So, do you want to introduce?
I think you did pretty well, actually. I think you did pretty well.
No.
I'm
talking
still
about
rolling.
this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's Safa's first time introducing the episode, Tara, and I think she did pretty well.
Thanks, guys.
You know, I lacked a bit of the vigor and bravado that I have, but I think it's amazing. Still good. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying your presents, your eggnog, your a million turkeys. The guys in the Balkan season, the ladies trying to stay slim. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day. I hope you're having a fantastic 25th of December and Christmas Day so far. And we're here to talk about New Year, same you. How to turn your biggest setbacks into your biggest triumphs. So, first things first, this is our second episode. And first, we want to say thank you to everyone who watched the first episode of Tokyo Diaries. Those of you who have not, what are you doing? And second of all, the first episode, what was the, well, you were in Nottingham at the time. It was such a lovely response. Like, thank you to everyone who's watched it, listened to it, has shared it, has told their friends and family about it, because honestly we knew that people would show up and show out, but to the extent that they did, thank you so much, because it's really special to us. This is something that we've worked really, really hard on, and it's not just putting a few episodes out. It's like been months and months and months of work behind the scenes. So thank you to everyone who's made that feel like it's worth it. And I'm really excited to carry on this and to make sure that you're all getting what you want from this and what we're getting. Like, we're exploring new things because, it's really special to us. Yeah, so special that we film an episode even if we haven't got our studio, and we're doing it in the backdrop of my flat using our mobile iPhones as mics. So, we will be back in studio in 2024, but we're big believers in consistency. We're like, okay, we either don't have an episode until next year, or we just have a fun one with a Christmas tree in the back of my flat, and here we are. So, New Year, same you. Before we get into that topic, guys, who are we? What are we about? What is our deal? Why start a podcast? All great, fantastic questions. And Safa, why did we start this podcast?
Well, I personally love the sound of my own voice, and I think more people should hear it. So here I am.
You sound like me now.
Oh yeah, see, we are two like-minded individuals, and we both thought that we had something to say. No, but seriously, I think it's such a great form of media and a great way to listen to something and gain new experiences and gain new ideas without having to change your life too severely. Like, you don't have to go out and look for something. You don't have to go and attend lectures. It's just a little podcast that you can put on in the background, like while you're doing your washing up or doing your laundry. And I think that's just a nice way to talk to people and to interact with people, because I think, especially now, it feels so noisy all the time. Just on social media, in work, in your day-to-day life. I think it's nice to sometimes be able to switch off and feel like you're having a conversation with people. And that's why I wanted to start it.
Yeah, and particularly, one of my favorite things about this is that it's run by a man and a woman, but that goes to the reason why I started. I felt like I saw so many podcasts out there that were very, all men are awful, and that's a fact. All women are awful, and that's a fact. And neither of them are facts. They're both opinions, and there's truth in both. There's men out there that are awful, absolutely, but there's men out there that are good. There's women out there that are awful, but there's women out there that are good. And I didn't see that many, or if any, capturing that, like, hey, look, we're on the same team. We're all trying to figure this out. We're all trying to figure this out, no matter our gender, our race, our class. 99% of us, there's always the odd dickhead here and there. But 99% of us are just trying to make it the best we can with what we know, with where we are in life. And I just wanted a space of people who could trying to find themselves, or trying to find their way, or trying to find back to their way. And hence why I say it's the podcast for underdogs, whether that's in love, life, school, yourself. I think mastering who you are as a person is a journey that I'm still on myself, and I can't speak for Safa, but I know that's something that she's still on herself as well. And just a space where people can come and feel accepted as they are, but we're also trying to help you get to where you know you want to be and where you know you can be. Don't change who you are, evolve who you are, become the best version of yourself and who you can be, while keeping the core of who you are as an essence in yourself. And yeah, I just wanted a space where I could learn, because you guys teach me things and I don't have all the answers, and none of us do. But I think, some of my best blessings in life has been when I just made myself vulnerable, and this does make me vulnerable. It's not my wheelhouse, but with every episode we get better and we get better at it. And I think that's the main thing we've learned, is that providing space for people who can come and feel that they're seen. And you can be young in your 20s and not want to mess up your life. You can be young and not want to drink, or not want to smoke, or not want to do drugs, or not want to do casual hookups. You can be young and want to do the non-debauchery, hedonistic thing, and still be you, and still be the best you, and still be happy, and still be cool, as they say it, So yeah, a place where you can grow and become the best you without feeling like you're odd one out, or you're weird in any way, which something that I felt when I was younger, and still do sometimes, with the way society is. So yeah, just providing a safe space for people, no matter where you are, the color, the creed, the gender, the class, a place where you can feel that you belong, and people tell you that it's okay. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you think that when you were younger and you were growing up and sort of figuring out who you were, do you think that something like this would have benefited you?
Absolutely. I think as a young man, I think as a young person, particularly as a young boy, your mind is very malleable and you're very impressionable. And I'm not even talking like 15, 16. I'm talking like 19, 20, 21. Like, I meet 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds who, yes, they're adults and they're going into uni, but they still have like that teenage kid brain of like conflict first, talk later, shoot first, ask questions later. And it's like you get more, less really is more, and building bridges really does serve you more. I'd rather have more friends than enemies in my life, because life is long, and the older I get, the more I realize that no one has it figured out. No one. If anything, most of us just are very, very good at either putting on the front, or B, we found out what does work for us and we stick to that. But there's still parts of us, like there's parts of me that I have no clue what I'm doing. There's parts of me where I am winging it. There's parts where I'm not, and I know what I'm doing. There's parts where I do, and I think that's the same for everyone and anyone in life. And growing up, yeah, there were things that were healthy, but there was also a lot of, now that I look back, there was a lot of, this is the only way. Don't listen to anything else. And that's never, information is never like that. Like, it's knowledge is a diaspora. It's not one set way. There's many ways to do one thing. And yeah, I just wanted that podcast to be that for people. So have you had the same thing growing up, or?
Yeah, I think not really knowing where to look with media. I think there's so much out there, and you listen to some of these podcasts and they're really talented people who've set them up, and they've obviously been very successful, but in terms of the actual content they're putting out, I'm like, why are you teaching people this? Because whether you like it or not, and it's not their job to raise kids, it's parents' jobs to raise kids, but whether you like it or not, there will be kids who look up to you. And I see some of the stuff that happens now with like certain influencers, and I'm like, oh God, why are you like putting that out there? And yeah, I think they know that they have a very young audience, and they still put that kind of content out, and it doesn't make me very hopeful for the way that I see kids looking up to people on the internet anymore.
Can you elaborate on some of those things you've seen today that you feel like is affecting the young youth as it is?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like very misogynistic content out there that I see, and a lot of kids repeat it as a joke, but they don't really know what the full meaning of it is. And then when they do know the full meaning, because they've been doing it for so long, it's just kind of normal. It's normalized. I don't want to name names, but I'm sure a lot of people know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's an episode within itself.
Yeah,
that's an episode within itself. I was like, what do I say on that?
Write that down.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, man. I think, yeah. I mean, people would always tell me, oh, start a podcast, but I didn't want to be just me, because it's sad to say this, but I know there are, not all, but there are women out there that may agree with what I have to say, but because I'm a guy, they won't hear it. Oh, what do you know? You're a man. And conversely, I know there are men out there that will listen to advice or knowledge that you try to give, and don't know deep down that you're right, or you at least have a point that they vibe with and agree with. But because it's coming from a woman, it's like, I agree with the message, but just not the messenger, if that makes sense. And I knew that one of the best strengths is having a male and a female on the podcast, because it's like when you say something towards men, I'm like, well, no, I agree, and then vice versa. And I think we can be so headstrong, both genders, in our own ways, and we can be very defensive. But I think when you break down all the walls and all the trust issues, people just want to feel loved. And even those who hurt others, they just not been loved in the same. I've had people do, and you know some, I've had people do heinous things to me, the horrible thing, say such disgusting things to me and accuse me of such horrible things. And then a month, a week, a day later, I see them and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, The whole phrase, hurt people, it's so true. And I the older I've gotten, the more I've seen that. And even now when I'm angry, I make a point to just take a time away, because I get angry, I get upset, but you know, you can always take back your anger. What you can't take it back is the words that you said to someone. Yeah. And that's something that I've learned a lot, you know.
I heard this quote once, and it was like, you can always say, go to hell tomorrow. Like, if you sleep on it and you're still that angry, you can always say it tomorrow. You don't need to say it in the moment.
Say that again?
You can always say, go to hell tomorrow.
That's a good one. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna actually do that, funny enough. That's a good one. Yeah. But guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you're enjoying your Christmas so far. Speaking of Christmas, this is my 27th Christmas. Safa, is this your 23rd Christmas?
23rd, yeah.
23rd, and when is your... Yeah, your birthday is... 27th, yes. So you
get me stuff. I'll link my Amazon wish list below.
Well, you got like a cash app now,
yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Send me birthday presents.
But yeah, guys. End of the year. There's a lot to talk about. I'm sure you're tired and all the things you've done and achieved this year, but we're going to talk about all of it and talk about what we've been through this year, what we're planning to do next year. But the topic: new year, same you. How to turn your biggest setbacks into triumphs. 2023.
Okay. How has 2023 been for you? Do you want to give us a rundown?
Jesus, we're trying to keep this to 1 hour. Right? My God. Forgive me, use the Lord's name in vain. 2023 for me really was two halves of one season. If that is like those season 1A and season 1B, and 1A was okay. It was alright. There was nothing overly dramatic or awful that happened, but there was nothing remarkable that happened either. And that doesn't make it a bad half, the first 6 months of the year, but I was just kind of like getting by, floating. And the second half of 2023, it's like different animal, different person. And there were so many things I achieved towards the back half of this year that I always wanted to do and always wanted to achieve and hit. But, you know, you never know when it's going to happen. And for those of you following my social media, you know, just some of the milestones as well. And it's from where I was to where I am now. It's so cliche to say, but it has been a roller coaster, because it has felt like everything's just happened at once towards the last 4 or 5 months of the year. And this person next to me has a big part to play in all of that, which will get stuff done. Which will I didn't say that. Which we'll get onto. But it's been a roller coaster. It's been two halves. How about for you?
Yeah, I think very much the same. I think for the first half it was very it was a bit of a weird time because I think everyone starts out the new year thinking, oh, this is going to be my best year yet.
This is my year.
This is my year. Like, new year, new me. And then it's so easy to fall back into old habits, and then some things that you've been working on for ages and ages and ages don't really come to fruition. And then you just get...
Don't tell me about it.
You just get knocked back. And again, I think it was like the second half of this year where I was like, okay, well, I know that the work that I've put in at the start of the year has finally started to pay off, and it's finally resulted in a job, or it's resulted in qualifications, or it's resulted in like the documentary that we'll mention later. So yeah, I think it's been a split year, but there's been a lot of highs and there's been a lot of lows, and I'm really grateful for the highs, and I've learned a lot from the lows. So
yeah, speaking of the highs and lows, I think we'll start with the lows first and on the highs. Let's start with bad news first. So what were some of the low points for you this year, and what was life the first, say, like January to June, the first 6 months? That is, yeah, June.
I just want to preface this with saying I was extremely lucky to be able to travel a lot this year. I've been to India, Dubai and Paris.
Sure was a bad low moment, really?
And I think I've learned a lot about myself when you're traveling. It is a really cliche thing to say, but people always say like, oh, you learn so much about yourself when you're traveling, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, of course you do, but you actually do. Like when you're taken out of your usual environment and you're put into something that's unfamiliar, and you're out of your comfort zone, literally, you see who you are. And I think, yeah, that first half of the year, I was like, oh my God, like this is something. When I went to India, it was something so completely new, and I'd met a load of family that I'd never met before, and I'd seen so many things from a different perspective. It really made me think about my life back here and thinking, okay, well, this is where I've got so much more than some of the people that I've seen or some of the people I've met, and what am I doing with it? And also like, okay, well, these are the things that they have that I don't have. And I'm sitting here and I'm like ungrateful for a lot of the stuff that I have.
A comparison game.
Yeah, it's a comparison game. And I think
the thief of joy.
Yeah, like I look back on it and I was like, I really need to like level up. And I think it was only after I started traveling that I was able to do that, because yeah, before I just wasn't really happy, and I think I felt very stuck. And I think everyone after graduating uni feels like that to some extent, especially if you're not gone straight into a job. But yeah, I definitely recommend, like, if you can even travel to a different city, just get on the train or a bus and see if you can do that, because it changes your perspective on a lot of things. What about you? Some of the lows?
First of all, thank you for sharing that. That can't be easy at all. Now that I think about it, it's... Yeah, I mean... Jeez. My mind just goes to, like, Arsenal's title race last season. I'm like, just, oh, how
the
that...
most important thing.
That the most...
in your life.
But no, it sounds funny, but... People who really know me, people who took me for more than 5 minutes, the minute they mention football and they say what team you support, I'm like, don't mention football, because if I mention my club and if you support a rival club, I will just start spraying you like I'm on Call of Duty with the AK-47. You know,
You're a different person.
I do. Like I like to believe I'm a lovely guy. I try to be as nice as I can to people. I mean, I do free hugs in the city. Like I like people.
That's you without Arsenal.
But as soon as Arsenal's mentioned, I'm a Champions League dickhead.
Wait, telling me. Come on. Get in. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Come on. Arsenal.
Like if you don't support Arsenal, if you support any of the other big three, you'll hate me by the time I'm done, because I will just keep coming. That sounds sus, but you know what I mean. But speaking of Arsenal, it sounds silly because football, but it does go back a lot on my first 6 months, because to me Arsenal was kind of like a crutch to me. It was kind of like the thing that made me happy and to always look forward to, in the mix of loneliness, lack of community, because I struggled. Now that I think about January, February, January's my birthday, but I had the gym, looking for work, Arsenal match. Gym, looking for work, Arsenal match. Gym, oh, here's some money, a freelance gig, still looking for work. Gym, Arsenal match. Oh, nice date here and there. You know, it's there was always these little things, but I was kind of spinning my wheels, but it was like I was spinning, but I was still at the same time. And the one constant was an Arsenal match on the weekend was, oh, can we get the next few points to win the title? What's the next step to us not dropping points to win the Premier League title? Our first one in 20 years. And for me, there's something beautiful in that in the midst of battling loneliness, battling lack of self-awareness and insomnia in insane amounts, depression and all these horrible things that people deal with, particularly men, it was men kicking ball on a pitch into a net that kept me going. And it was weird, but guys who watch football would know what I mean about this, is that no matter what team you support, no matter what club you support, we've all had a point in our life where our team was the only thing we were looking forward to, and our team helped us through a dark period. And unbeknownst to them, of course, but it was like, oh, this is going horrible. My girlfriend broke up with me. I lost my job. But oh, there's a game on the weekend. It's the big game on the weekend. And it sounds silly. It sounds silly if you don't understand the feeling of, particularly I was speaking to the men, the feeling of that loneliness and not knowing who you are and then not knowing if things are going to get better. And really, sadly, men don't really have people to talk to often in our society. You know, we know about the suicide rate and the depression rates just in the UK alone, let alone globally. And yeah, sport is a lifeline to a lot of men, which is why when COVID happened and the lockdown happened, a lot of men struggled because it was like, yeah, football's still going on, but we weren't allowed to attend. And it wasn't the same as, you know, there's guys I will never meet again in my life that I've had a kick about in the park with, that I've had a bigger bond with them for the 40 minutes that we played football on the pitch with than I have people I've known for years. There's something beautiful about that. There's guys in a bar that I met the same day, and 20 minutes later, I'm jumping on their back because our team scored. Different race, different age, different class, different background, different ethnicity, different upbringing. But for that hour and a half that match is going on, we're brothers. And there's something beautiful about that. We're men, as a gender, struggle so much with community and connection, where we can bond over that. Oh, the game. Oh, West Ham's. Oh, Arsenal's playing tonight. It's an instant rapport, instant smoothing over the ice. And women have their own, and I would love to hear about women have it for theirs. But with men into football, people who turn their nose up to it, I would say you don't understand. You've never been in that position. Because as a man, where there's so many ways where you feel isolated and there's no one you can talk to, that hour and 50, an hour and a half, however long a match is, plus 10 minutes at a time now these days, you just feel a part of something, and you feel like you belong, and you don't feel like you don't exist. You feel like you exist, you feel like you matter, you know, because you see that club in you, and you see you in that club. And so it's like a manifesto in football right now, but
this is turning into a
but no, it is like, because yeah,
that's great. Anyway, tune into his new podcast, Arsenal
about football, Arsenal, yes. But for the first 4 months, that Arsenal just kept me going. When we lost the league last season, my lord, it's like I lost the league. When they win, it's like I win. Mm-hmm. When they lose, it's like I lose. And anyone who supports a football team, man or woman, will tell you it's the same feeling. When your team loses, you've lost. When you win, they've won, vice versa. And till like April and May, that little team from North London was the one thing that was, bar being alive, being my one highlight to look forward to, which I think when you deep that, you realize just how little I had to look forward to when it was just a weekly game of football, which is great. But that was like, even when I think about it now, I launched Project Nova, but even that, we didn't have the money to afford to keep doing it on a consistent basis, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so
it's been a tough year for
the first 6 months. Was, now I look back on it, I was just getting by, and that team was helping me get by. So yeah, I'm gonna go cry now. So
yeah. Podcast over, guys.
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, high points then. On that note, let's bring it back round. Yeah. Let's not depress them. How many things have you done this year that you didn't even think that you'd do in that first half when you were feeling that low?
I've lost count, and to just go on that point, there is nothing wrong with feeling low. There's nothing wrong with that. It's completely normal. And I think particularly those who listen to this now on December, a lot of you can be thinking about January 2024. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? In my advice, what helped me, know what you want to do, set the plan, but be patient with yourself, because there is no quicker way to mess up all your plans and ambitions and goals for the next year, for 2024, than to put this insane amount of pressure that I have to be happy, I have to get it done, I have to be great, I have to be this, I have to do it every single day, and I must never be sad. You're on a one-way ticket to Shitsville right away, because that pressure and that tension, there's only one way it's going, and it's going to expand, and one day, like it happened to me, and I just to talk on that, it's please set all the goals you want. I will, Safa will, but be patient with yourself, because these things take time. My year didn't really get started until July. Like 5-6 months where I was just like, I thought I was good in it, Safa, but now look back, really, things didn't start happening for me till like July, late July, if that. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's what I said before a bit about having all these goals and doing the work as well, because you were doing the work. You would I know so many people.
The tree wouldn't fall down. No
how many times you chop the tree, it just wouldn't fall down until one day you hit it again when you're about to give up and the whole forest falls down. And there's all these things that come at you and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I'd be able to be blessed in these ways. But it's because you've gone through those hard things and you're mentally preparing yourself for receiving those things. Because I know that who I was at the start of the year, I wasn't ready for all the good things that have happened to me, and I wasn't ready for the ways that I've improved and I've been blessed this year. And if I'd been given what I was given now back then, I would have fumbled it. I would have fumbled the bag so hard.
Looking back, how do you know that you weren't ready for it looking back now?
I think the consistency wasn't there. I think it was like showing up and being grateful for it every single day. So not only just like knowing that I had it and it was a blessing, but like knowing how hard it was to get to that point made me really appreciate it when it was there. So like all those sleepless nights, all those times where I was like applying for hundreds of jobs and no one got back to me, that wasn't me not deserving it. It was me not being ready to receive it, because I know that back then I had stuff that I needed to figure out and I needed to work on myself, that I wouldn't have been able to consistently show up for something that I wanted.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I was doing great, but then I met you, and Jesus, you literally one of my best friends in my life, if not my best friend. And it's funny that when you meet good people in your life, they can see the holes in you that you don't see in yourself, and I've seen yours and you've seen mine, and yeah, I mean, it's when you say, oh, be grateful for where you are and that consistency, it's hard to be grateful when you're hungry, you know, or like when you want to go out with friends, or when you look at your bank account and it's empty. So how did you manage that, you know, you're applying to all these jobs and no one's getting back to you, or you're getting hit with the, unfortunately, Indeed email.
shiver that I
yes,
just found.
which is like, oh, you know what you get when you open your email, it just says, you have an update from this job, and it's never a good update. It's never. Man's got nothing nice to say to you. It's just like this nice little 3 words. It's like, unfortunately, we moved to another candidate, and it's like you get it like.
Keep you for future reference.
No, you won't, big man.
No, you will not.
No,
I've never been kept for future reference. Honestly.
Yes. How did you? Yeah, because I know there were times that, like, even you said, like, I don't remember you saying this, but like you didn't have money to even like see your friends, visit your friends, you know. And I had times where like I didn't have money to even like, it was getting money for my hair, cut my hair to look not like a homeless person, with all respect, and not to look like a bushman, or having food for the week.
Yeah. And
you think, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, guys, my haircut costs about like 17 quid. My weekly food shop around 20, 25 if I'm shopping every week. And if I'm eating in a month, it's like, okay, if I have like 20 quid for a month, suddenly that ain't gonna stretch you very far. And then I pay for my washing here as well. Suddenly that 20 quid looks like nothing when you got to pay for your washing, you got to do this. Don't even mention in rent as well. You got to walk everywhere because you can't take public transport, because that £2 now can go towards food. You know, it's a lot. So how did you, because God knows how I did, but how did you navigate that? Okay, I got to be patient, but I feel like banging my head against the wall right now. How did you navigate that?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I did it very well. I don't think I did it very well. I think there was a lot of breakdowns. There was a lot of times where I was just saying, this is so unfair. And I think, like, all credit to my mum and my friends, because they put up with me, like, feeling like that, and they were like, it will get better, it will get better, it will get better, and I was like, it won't get better.
What was that Safa like? What was that, the Safa here and the Safa referencing? What was she like that you're talking about?
I think she was scared. I think I graduated the year before last, so I graduated in 2022, and I think
So you're a lockdown student.
Yeah, lockdown student. So it was like all of those things that like I'd seen everyone else experiencing in uni, all of those events and all of those trips that people were able to do and get experience. There was a lot of that I just didn't have, and it was the same for everyone countrywide, like worldwide. So I think, yeah, putting that into perspective and thinking, well, okay, it's not the end of the world if I don't have a graduate job, and it's not the end of the world if I don't land my dream job. And I started out really positively, and I actually got some mentoring from a company who did it for free. It was like Young Women's Trust, I think. And she really helped put it in perspective. But also, I think I didn't want my dream job. All I wanted was a job. All I wanted was like a minimum wage, scanning things at Tesco, or
when you're starving, you don't care about what you eat.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I don't know if I dealt with it in a good way. I think I did get through it though, and I think just continuing to apply for jobs and continuing to like grab every single opportunity that I was presented with, even if it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. Like there was a lot of things that I was like, I hate the sound of that, but I'll give it a go. And then I've got the experience to put on my CV, and I've got things to talk about with people. Going to networking events, there's a lot of free networking events that were going on, and I think asking my mum for the bus money and bless her, like she gave me it. So,
and it feels horrible having been to uni. You're now an adult. Like there's no like, oh well, 19. Yes, you're an adult, but there's still the teen. But now you're 23. Like you're fully in the 20s.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
I think swallow your pride.
It's very humbling, isn't it?
Swallow your pride. Like do not even think that you're better than this, because I know people who've got master's degrees or like doctorate degrees, and they went and worked in like a takeaway because there was no other jobs going until they found a job. And just don't even think no, I'm better than that, because you don't know who you're going to meet.
You know what, as well, it's when you say, okay, this is the jobs I know I'm qualified for. I took this in uni, I got a degree and I got a doctorate in it, but I'm happy to go work down just to have an income coming in, and then they reject you. Then you're in the mud, because it's like, it's not just like the rejection or okay, what am I going to do, but it's more of like the mental hit it takes, where it's like, wow, even a place where I don't really want to work, even they don't want me. Like, is there like a pact that was made to like not hire me? Like, you think there's like some conspiracy theory going on?
You do. And I think I think it is just pushing through and just meeting as many people as you can, and going out and talking to people, talking to everyone. Like this is what we want to do with this podcast, is teach people how to talk to people, because it's a lost art. Like there's people out there who you may walk past in the street and they've got the most incredible stories and the most incredible connections, and they want to help people, but you don't speak to them.
And your network really is your net worth. One thing, like my working at Liverpool at Anfield, my Lord, have I seen that lesson smacked in my face time and time again. Forget all the famous people that I've met there, but like I've met so many business partners or future business partners that I'm going to interview, or we're going to interview on the podcast, just from working my hosting gig at Anfield, because they come through my door and it's a lounge door and it takes a very expensive, which means people who go through are very wealthy or high profile, and it's just like being right place, right time, but also knowing what to say and how to communicate in a way where it's like, oh, I'm not talking to you as a fan, I'm talking to like, this is
just being genuine.
Exactly. Like a Sophie, who's the assistant to Stephen Bartlett with Doak, I never would have married in a million years, and I'm from London, but to be at Anfield when Liverpool play Man United and she walks past and I recognize the Doak acronym on her hat, and it's like, oh, I'm the assistant, and now we're following each other on Instagram, we email each other. It literally is right place, right time, but I had to put myself in that position, but also know how to communicate. So it's frustrating, because when you're not there, you're like, oh, that was such a random meeting, but I'm like, was it though? I got a job where I know I'm going to meet high profile people at my job, and I made sure to work on my communication skills, that when I meet them, I'm not talking to them like I'm some possessed fan. It's like, no, I talk to them like they're my equal, because imagine if you were some high profile person and someone's talking to you like a fan, as much as you may like them, it's very hard for you to then want to do work with them, because it's kind of like, okay, but I feel like you're looking up to me, but I'm just a person. I have flaws too, and just like they do.
It's that feeling of being put on a pedestal.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were talking roughly about, you talked about what you went through in that first 6 months and how hard it was, and asking them for money and all these kind of things, but the mental shift about how did you get through that? Like, how did you outlast that pain? Like, what were you telling yourself? What were you doing? And did you not? Were there times where you didn't do it as well? Because for me, definitely there were moments where I just laid in bed and just felt sorry for myself for a day or two, and then I got back on the horse. But how did you get that mental shift to actually make you last until it got better to the other side?
I think when I finally did secure a job and I finally got onto a course that I'd applied for the November before. So I started the course in May and I applied the November before. So
2021 you applied for it?
2022.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So so 2022 I applied for this course, and then 2023 is when I heard back from them. And this is what I mean. Wow. Like there were so many things that that I put in the work, and then I didn't see anything for months. And then when I finally did see it, it was like, okay, well, I'm ready to do this now. I can actually commit the time, and
it's like a flower growing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
speaking of, Lila's still lovely and healthy. My house plant, Lila. If those of you who know my social media, Lila's great. Japanese Hoya plant. That's the cameo. Anyway, sorry, I sort of segue right there. I just had to.
Anyway,
sorry.
The bulbs were in the ground, and
the what?
The bulbs were in the ground.
Bulbs,
like plant
light bulbs.
No, like plant bulbs.
What?
Like, when flowers grow.
Yes.
In the spring,
Seeds.
they're in. No, there's bulbs. They look like onions, and they grow.
Oh, that's what they're called.
Bulbs, yeah.
How you spell it?
BULBS.
Let's say that again.
BULBS.
Okay.
Yes.
Light bulbs.
Like light bulbs.
Is that where they get the name from?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
The bulbs were in the ground, and nothing was above the surface until one day there was just like a little bluebell field. Yeah. What was the question?
Yeah, just how you navigated that difficult time, because obviously you mentioned what you did practically about, like, okay, I wasn't afraid to ask for help and all these kind of things, but mentally, how did you not top yourself? How did you not jump off a bridge? How did you get, it's a true thing, because I think as human beings, we know the right thing to do. If you're unemployed, keep applying, network, improve your CV, have people look at it, get yourself out there, learn a new skill, make yourself so good to hire that any job will be an idiot to pass you up. We know that practically, but sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. And that sounds bad, but we all do it. We all have those days where it's like, I know what to do, but I feel so demotivated, I feel so apathetic, I feel so hopeless and worthless. To that part, and I'll speak on that, but how did you, because you had those, of course you have those feelings, because this capitalist society we live in, without money, you think, okay, where's my next meal coming from? Where's this coming from? And then you add, if you live alone as well, and there's no one coming to save you, how did you get the mental shift? What were you doing mentally to kind of help you outlast that pain until you got to the other side of where you are now?
I think it was being gentle on myself and saying, okay, well, you're not right where you are. You're not where you want to be right now, but you will get there, and you will get there because I've seen you get there before. And whether you want to or not, you will get there.
Did you always believe yourself when you said that?
No, but I told myself it enough that I was like, okay, well, this little annoying voice in my head is telling me it, so I'm just going to trust her. And I think a lot of it was I didn't even know what I wanted to do, and I think that was a big part of it. It was like I don't know where I want to go, but I know that I'm going to get there. And I think, just being gentle on myself and saying it's not the end of the world. It's okay to lie in bed for 3 days and just cry, because there were days like that.
3 days is a bit, but
it was good. It was a hard time.
Only 24 hours.
It was a hard time.
I was speaking as a guy though. So.
Yeah, well, I was very gentle on myself, and I did the things that I could do, and then I trusted God for the rest, because I just there's not much else you can do.
Yeah, literally, it's the whole let go, let God. It's like, it's even if you don't believe in God, if you're not religious, it's like like just the art of letting go, where like less is more, and you know, whatever you resist persists, and that's a big thing. It was never a coincidence that, this sounds so cheesy, and your mom's gonna roll her eyes when she listens to this, but when I was like single and mingling about, there were girls that were like ignoring me or flaking on me. It was no coincidence that whenever I like just forgot about it, I went to go see an Arsenal match. Oh, the girl would text back. Oh, I got a job application, they heard back from me. Oh, da. Whenever I stopped obsessing over it, that's when it came over. But those times when I sat down at the desk and I was like, I'm not eating, I'm not drinking, I'm not sleeping until I get a flipping call back. I will stay up for the next 6 days. Nothing happened.
It's like a watch pot never
and if it did happen, I wasn't in the right mind anyway, because I was so burnt out from lack of sleep and lack of nutrition and lack of just self-care. So that was a big one of just like, you know, letting go and like know that part of the work is not doing work, if that makes sense. Part of the work is letting go. So, okay, I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to give it everything. And then I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
And that's part of the process. It's like you plant the seed, you do give it the best fertilizer, water as best as you can, the best conditions, then leave the damn seed alone.
Yeah. And it's like with cooking, like the best ingredient is time. Like if you're making a stew, like, the best thing you can do for it is to turn it down low and let it cook.
Add some Maggi cube as well.
And some Maggi cube, yeah. So you mentioned burnout. Like how was that, and how did you sort of get yourself out of that rut that you were feeling?
I still do it to this day, and I call it stacking, where I find, so anyone who's a fan of the very, very historical, complex video game called Mario, the bricks, when he jumps on the little bricks, and I'll edit this in the YouTube version, but the bricks when he's jumping up and down, I see it like that. I see it's like almost like a staircase that you jump up and down like you're Super Mario. So when I wake up in the morning, I think, okay, what's the first positive thing? Well, I'm alive. That's a positive. Some people died in their sleep, which is one of my biggest fears, by the way. I tell God, when you take me out during the day, or during, like, let me be I want to die saving people, like to see people in a burning building. This sounds so dramatic, I know, but let me have my moment. People in a burning building, 2 people in there, they can't get theirs. I'll run in, tell my kids I love them, to my wife and kids I love them. I go in there, they go push them out, building falls on me. But like, because think about it, it's mathematics. I go see maths, but still, 2 lives saved, 1 life gone.
Wow.
1 life for 2. You know,
bargain.
Literally. So, but when I do wake up, first thing, I thank the Lord for waking me up, because it's a blessing just to be alive. And I think we forget that a lot, especially when life gets tough. You forget that, hey, to complain while you're alive is a blessing within itself. Like, most people just, you know, like the fact that I can complain, I can sit, I can do all these things, it's a blessing, because I can't complain when I'm dead. So something as simple as that, like, hey, I'm alive to even have an opinion to form in my mind. Having a healthy brain, a healthy body. Me doing this right now, sorry for the camera, that's a blessing. I can stand up, I can walk, I can think, I can feel, I can speak, I can communicate, I can learn a new language. There's one people who are my age who aren't physically able, aren't mentally able. They have conditions, they have diseases, they have illnesses, they have many things that they deal with that I don't. And whenever I'm having a crap day, I go back to, well, I'm alive, I have a healthy body. Thank God there's no sickness, no illness in me. And yeah, it just goes back to that. But on an easy day, it's like, okay, I wake up, oh, there's something. Like the first 6 months, okay, say it was like summer, and the worst time to be broke is during the summer, by the way, because you walk outside, all the ladies are wearing like beautiful dresses, and you want to take a girl out for a drink, and it's like, oh yeah, let's go for a drink, and you're like, please, I don't drink alcohol, by the way, straight edge, no drinking, no smoking, no doing drugs. And I was like, please, for the Lord, just order 1 coffee. And I'm looking at my bank account, it's like £5 something. And it's like, I know you're thinking you shouldn't be taking out people on dates when you're trying to have food to eat food, but we live and we learn, okay? And let me socialize. I was lonely. But you see people going out, going on trips, going on holiday on Instagram, doing all this stuff, and you're there trying to think about how you can manage 20 quid for the rest of the month. And it's like, it just makes that depressiveness even stronger, because it's like the FOMO now comes, where it's like, oh, she's going to Prague, oh, he's in Brazil, this person's there, while you're there thinking about how you're not going to starve for the next 2 weeks. And it's so difficult. But it was like, okay, it's sunny, let me go play football there's a park down in Everton, which is where the events of Ozymandias happened, for those of you who know. Ozymandias is a documentary that we have coming out end of this month. But yeah, okay, sunny, that's one positive thing. I'm awake. Another positive thing, oh, I went to the gym yesterday. My pump is the pump. Every guy knows the pump. Like, I'm looking very swole this morning. Great. Going to play football today. Oh, Arsenal playing tomorrow. Oh, I have some eggs to eat breakfast with. I have a nice scrambled egg breakfast. Oh, I'm going to come back and watch a movie because I have my Limitless, because movies kept me going as well. You know, little things. Oh, that. And what I noticed, the more I would find something good, life would give me something. It would keep it going. Okay, here's the next cloud. Here's the next cloud. So imagine I'm like, for those watching on YouTube right now, so imagine like I'm the Mario character, and like the clouds are the good things. Like the first cloud, I'm awake. Second cloud, oh, it's a sunny day today. Oh, I'm in the UK. Sun is a rarity here. Third cloud, oh, I'm going to football today. Everyone's coming. Okay, cool. Fourth cloud, oh, I actually got 50 quid paid into my account today. Oh, fifth cloud, oh, what's that movie tonight? Sixth cloud, oh, this guy wants to go out. And it's like, before you know it, you're having a good day. And I do that to this very day. Here's a clear example. We're recording this on December 22nd. Tomorrow, I will get to see Arsenal live for the first time again in 2 years, and Safa will be going to her first football match in person ever. I won't say who, but that is from the help of someone who's helped us, because I was just nice to them for 2 years when I was working, you know. And it just shows. And and then I woke up to that news from that text, and then the next thing, it was like, hey, AFTV gets in touch. Hey, are you down in Liverpool tomorrow? We know you live there. You wanna do the fan cams? I'm like, yeah, cool. We'll pay you this. Cool, great. Oh, we got this movie coming out tomorrow. Oh, we're doing this. And it's like,
follow the gold, isn't it? It's like you need to find the good, because I think it was some of that with me, where it was like, okay, well, I can't do this right now, but I can go outside. I can do my laundry and that'll make me happy. Yeah. I can get myself out of bed and I can like talk to my family, and it is just looking for the good until
the next one comes.
The good finds you, yeah.
Like, that thing didn't all happen right after one. It was like, I got the text, hey, we got you the tickets, we're going to email them to you. I got that at like 8, well, I was woke up at 9:30 today. I got it like at 8:55, and I was like, cool, that was the thing. I didn't get the text from Jason, shout out to Jason at AFTV, until like 1 p.m. So for a good 4 or 5 hours, I was just sitting and marinating on the, okay, we're going tomorrow. Now, it's much better than like just sunny day. It's a pretty big thing. It's exciting, but until I got that next one, I was salivating on that. So for those who want to try this at home, what I'd say is you find the good thing, whether it's like, oh, me and my mum haven't talked in weeks, me and my mum are now talking now. You salivate on that, and then the next thing will come. And it doesn't all happen second by second. And to be honest with you, you don't want to. You get overwhelmed. But it's more of like, you find the good thing and you stick on that. You harp on that on yourself mentally to the next thing. And then you do the same thing and again and again and again. And before you know it, you're having a good day. Then you're having 2 good days. Then you're having a good week and a good month. And you're having a good life. And there'll be bad things. There's always like one thing in the day that tries. I think it's a test. But like when you're on a good momentum, there's like, someone cuts you off in traffic, or someone looks at you funny when you walk past them, or you miss the bus.
Or someone calls you ugly as you're in the street. That happened to me once. Yeah. I was applying lipstick and this girl walked past me and she goes, ugly, under her breath. And I was like, there wasn't anyone else.
No reasons.
I didn't even know her. I didn't even see her face. And there was no one else around. So she was saying it to me.
You know what? That was a test as well. I was like, okay, are you going to let this now ruin your day? Or are you going to do the harder thing? Because it's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah. It's obviously so to laugh at it. Yeah, because it's like, yeah. Guys, we're on a spinning rock kept alive by a huge fireball. Yeah. Like everything matters and nothing matters. And that's the dichotomy of life, is that really, when you look at it, we're all going in the same ground. None of this matters. But because none of this matters, it does matter, you know? And it's such a weird paradox of it when you think about it. But yeah, that's how I got through it, just stacking it. The camera just cut out. The camera?
The camera. This is my coast.
Those of you who are watching on YouTube, yeah, the camera actually just cut out. So yeah, it's a clear example. But hey, benefit, I'm seeing Aquaman 2 tonight. So like, you just find something right away, or you just laugh about it. And look, it's much easier said than done, especially when you haven't done it in a long while. But
it's also just a practice, isn't it? It's like it's a muscle. Like, you can't go to the gym and expect to lift the heaviest weight there. You have to build your way up. And one thing that I did when I was feeling like that was I had a gratitude journal. And as much as it sounds super, super cringy, yeah, like I literally had like a plain notebook and I decorated it to make it look nice and make me want to look at it. And then I wrote down what I was grateful for and like various affirmations. And honestly, it's so silly because it's such a simple thing. Like, you don't need any money to do it. You don't need any fancy app or fancy thing. You can just do it yourself. And then it really does change your mindset. And I think that so many people are like, oh, it's so wishy-washy. Like, it's just like...
Yeah, but funny, those people never ever do that.
Yeah.
So they've never actually done it. When you ask them, have you done it? No.
No.
How'd you know then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do it. Try it out. Just try it out.
Yeah.
Don't even tell anyone that you're doing it. Just try it out.
Yeah, football's overrated. Have you actually watched the match? No. How'd you know then? PS5's not all that good. You have one? Sorry, segue. PS5s were amazing.
Anyway, this is turning into the Jenkinson the boys chat.
The boys
group
it.
chat.
The boys are loving it in the dungeon.
Anyway, back to me. So, new year, looking forward. What have you learnt this year that you want to take forward into the new year? And what are those kind of goals and affirmations and resolutions that you want to set?
Well, firstly, I want to say thank you to you. As I said this off cam, but no, I mean it. I mean it. Like, I know you're going to pull some faces at the camera because it's hard to receive the positivity. But no, like, honestly, like, the major difference between the first 6 months to the latter half 6 months of this year is you. I met you in... I met you in April, but we didn't really become friends until May. But April 4th, yeah, so really towards the end of the first half of the year. And then we started really working together from July, August, and that's when we filmed the first like little trailer for the podcast in that studio. I was wearing like the pink hat, and we filmed like so many takes of that I need to release one day. But yeah, and I feel like it just pushed me to a whole new level, and not just professionally, but also emotionally as a person, as a human being, as a man. And I can't thank you enough for that. And I look back at if you just look at my life, or even just online, August to like now December, and all the things I've hit and all the things I've achieved, I couldn't have done it without you. So I just wanted to say thank you.
You can email me to hire my services, just so you know.
You have to make it a job. Yes.
Thank you.
But no, yeah. And I think just going on that, like, I feel like I have a lot of momentum right now with the podcast, the films, what we want, our plans for Project Nova. We want to make that something really, really fun and exciting. We won't tell you what it is now. We've got some amazing plans for that in the new year. That's the second time, the third time the camera is cut, but for the final time, Safa, how'd you look back on 2023 and what are you looking forward to in 2024?
I think looking back, it's been a really good year overall, and I think there's been so many things that we've done and so many things that I've done personally and professionally that I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity. And looking forward to 2024, we've got our Ozymandias documentary coming out, so I'm really, really excited about that. I produced that, you directed it, and we've got a premiere, but that's this year, not next year. And then, yeah, I'm just taking it further with the podcast, doing some Project Nova stuff. Yeah, I'm just excited. Like, I think I heard this quote once, and it was like, the best way to make God laugh is tell him your plans. So I'm not planning too much. I think just going with the flow and just taking the opportunities where I can get them is my plan. What about you?
Yeah, literally just stay on for what you say. I think I just want to get consistent with all that. I'm aware that I want to end this year strong with like this being December 25th, and we have the premiere in 5 days, which, yeah, I'm aware of that and I'm proud of that, but also I know that I need to have a period where I switch off because I look back and I haven't had much of a holiday period. I have had one, but there's been like, okay, here's 2 days off, then there's the next big thing, or here's 3 days off, then there's the next big thing, then there's the next big thing. So I think next year I want to get my work life, on a personal level, I want to get my work life balance better, where I'm doing well and I'm hitting those targets and I'm achieving these great things, but I'm not missing out on life or on rest, which is a big one. I need to rest more, which isn't what you would say someone going in and you're like, oh, I'm going to go after everything, But I've noticed that I'm way more productive and I'm way more capable and have more to give others when I'm more rested and I take care of myself. And that self-care, which I've started a bit now, but I really want to hone in that, taking care of myself and not just thinking that I'm a weapon against everything. I am, but even weapons need rest, and I think that's one thing I've been guilty of not giving myself ample rest, just mental rest. So yeah, I think that's something, and going into being 28 years old, so yeah, even thinking about fatherhood and that kind of stuff, I don't, I don't know, I'm thinking about 30 coming up and what I want out of my life, and yeah, fatherhood is a big thing, and then self-actualization is a big thing, and just give more to the people in my life and to the community around me, and the people around me, and the people who listen or watch whatever we do. And yes, our first premiere this Saturday, the time you're seeing this, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Hopefully next time we'll be back in the studio. But we hope you had a good Christmas and a very happy new year from us.
Yes, honestly, thank you so much for all the support you've given, or you will give. It means the world to us, and all we can do is just thank you. Thank you for being on our side, and we have so much more prepared for you, not just the end of this year, but for 2024, and we're very, very excited. So follow us on Instagram on Tokyo Diaries at It's Tokyo Diaries, TikTok, It's Tokyo Diaries, YouTube, Tokyo Diaries, Spotify, guessed it, Tokyo Diaries. So thank you for all the support and love. You can also follow us on Maverick Studios, also the Free Hugs crew, and also Project Nova. Safa, where can they find you?
At Safa Miller X on Instagram.
You can find me at Matt the Filmmaker, M-A-V, the Filmmaker, and also at Arsenal. I'm joking.
Not yet, anyway.
Yes.
2024 is coming for you.
Of course, but guys, Merry Christmas. Much love to you and your loved ones and your families. Take the time to rest and heal. And in 2024, go show them what you're all about, because I believe in you, Saf believes in you, but you have to believe in you. Thank you. We'll see you next time.